There are some very important things to make sure to get a better result with the SliderPLUS, especially when working with the tripods. There is a general misconception that the sliders usually cause some rainbow effect or some flexing. Actually, most of the time, the flexing and that rainbow effect is caused by the flex that comes from the tripod's legs. Here I have an example tripod here attached to the SliderPLUS X Large, and here, if you actually, without even using, I want you to see that how the system flexes, how the tripod legs dance, and you can also look at this tip part and see how the system moves, and that flexing does not happen on the slider, but it comes from legs. So this is very important to avoid. There are a few ways to avoid that. For example, from our experience, tripods which has this type of connection between the legs are not favorable to work with SliderPLUS or any slider actually, which is currently available in the market, because they are the only thing that limits how much you are going to be able to open the legs to sideways. So there are no locking mechanisms on the top parts, so this is the only limit how much you're gonna be able to open the legs. So this makes this upper constructions less rigid. So this definitely causes the system bend and flex from the upper part. Another thing is opening the tripod's legs to its maximum length definitely causes the legs to be, again, more flexible. We advise that you use your tripods as low as you can. This will definitely increase the rigidity of your tripod. Here I'm going to do that. The problem again here is, since I have lowered the tripod, now the distance between the legs has shrunk down. So my tripod takes up less area on the ground. This is kind of risky because when you use your slider to its maximum extent, it's very likely to fall sideways. Again, I use it the other way. It is very easy to have the slider, the tripod tip over. So what you want is not this type of a tripod, but a different one, which I'm going to set up right now. This type of a tripod setup, from our experiences, is much better to work with SliderPLUS or SliderPLUS X Large. What's different about this tripod legs is they don't have that kind of triangular connection in between the legs. What stops the legs from opening is the locking mechanisms on the top of this part. So this definitely gives the whole system a more rigid structure. So yes, even though I apply pressure, you may be able to see some slight movement, but this is, from our experience, is as low as you can get. And also, when you set up your tripod legs much lower, another problem happens, which I will demonstrate right now. I will lower the tripod legs, but of course, before doing anything, any adjustments or any repositioning to the system, I always use my locking mechanism. So this will be very safe and secure to make the adjustments. Anyway, so I lower my tripod and I open the system up. Now my tripod takes up super small amount of space on the ground, and when I operate the slider, if I let go, it just drops. Luckily, with this type of a tripod, adjustments of how much the legs open can be different. And now you see that I've gone super low with the setup and no dropping happens. So we definitely advise the users to get this type of tripod leg setup to work perfectly and best with this SliderPLUS system.